everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. It's lovely to have you. So, House of the Dragon Season 2 Episode 1 aired in the UK last night, and I watched it immediately. And I have a lot of thoughts on it, so I wanted to film this review for you. I would be really interested to see what other people's thoughts and opinions are on the episode as well, so please make sure to leave those in the comments and we can have a good chit chat about it. Now, just as a quick disclaimer, this video will include spoilers. I ain't holding anything back. There are some scenes that I want to talk about. So, if you have not watched the episode, I would encourage you to go and watch that and then come back to this video, because otherwise I am going to ruin it for you and I don't want to be blamed for that. Without further ado, let's review the episode. So firstly, I think it's been about 2 years since the previous season was released. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Now, I'm unsure whether or not there's been much of a time jump between the final episode of season 1 and the first episode of season 2. I'm inclined to think that there isn't much of a time jump at all, because Rhaenyra's grief is very, very fresh, and she is out there searching for the remains of her son, which makes me think that he must have literally have just passed away. And she is very much in those early stages of grief as well. Now, I personally really liked how they started off the episode, almost like introducing the Starks and the role that they're going to play in the inevitable war that is about to happen. It almost foreshadows the big role that they have. If you've read the books, then you will be aware of the role that the Starks play in that. And it's just whether or not the TV show sticks to that storyline, or if they do things their own way and go down a different path. But either way, I enjoyed that they started off with just trickling a little bit of Stark into there. So the first half of the episode felt like it was more of Alicent's experience of being a mother to a very flawed king. I cannot for the life of me remember how old Aegon is supposed to be. However, he does act very immature in certain places. He does act a little bit cocky, a little bit arrogant. However, nowhere near as bad as Joffrey. I am very, very happy that they did not make Aegon a carbon copy of Joffrey's character in the Game of Thrones TV series. I like that they've given Aegon's character more depth and more layers to unlock there, because I can't tell whether or not he actually wants to be king, and I do feel like the first half of that episode was very much to do around motherhood, and you have the grieving mother in Rhaenyra, but then you also have the difficulties of being a mother to a very flawed king, as Alicent is. They've both got a hard time going on. And I suppose that even though there's a lot of conflict between the two, that does kind of show the link and the similarities that they do still have, despite them being on opposing sides. The episode did feel slow at times, especially in that first half. I think it was very much so setting the scene. I imagine there's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of tension coming up in the future episodes, and I feel like this one was just setting the scene, laying the foundations for the inevitable violence that is due to come. So it did feel a little bit slow-paced, but it was still an enjoyable watch, and I do feel like the storytelling, I do feel like that is important. Those slow scenes are very important and very crucial to the upcoming plot. So I do feel like it's necessary that it was a bit slow. I did feel very, very bad for Rhaenyra throughout the whole episode, as you are supposed to, but in particular there is a scene where Jace comes home and has broken down into tears with Rhaenyra regarding the loss of his brother. That particular scene did hit me quite emotionally. It was really sad. And it does show the overwhelming emotion and the hardship that that family is going through because of the events that took place in the previous season. My first thought during the rat catchers scene was, please don't let anything happen to the dog. I'm okay with bad things happening to humans. I can watch that, I'm fine with it. But the moment something bad happens to an animal, especially a dog, I just can't take it. But don't worry, nothing happens to the dog in that scene, thank goodness. We can relax now. The whole episode is building up to that scene right at the end, which is the trigger and the knock-on effect for lots of other bad things that are about to happen. However, that scene was nowhere near as brutal as it is in the books, which I don't know if I was disappointed in or not. I think it is good because the scene that happens in the books, I don't think I want to watch that. It's very, very brutal. So they have massively toned that down in this episode. In the book, there's a lot more emotional dialogue. I also think as well that in the TV show, they kept the murder off screen. So even what happened to the child is a lot less brutal. The actual way that the child passes away is nowhere near as brutal as it is in the books, but they also didn't even show it at all. So I'm wondering why that is. I'm wondering, have they received some feedback? Because a lot of people said that the events in Game of Thrones and in the previous season of House of Dragon are very brutal, very difficult to watch. But is that not what it's supposed to be? Is it not known for that brutal factor? So yeah, they massively toned it down in the TV show. It felt like a very quick death, whereas I feel like in the book it's a lot more prolonged because of the emotional dialogue. It's a lot more hard-hitting and there's a lot more tension there. But I'm also quite glad because I don't want to watch that happening to a toddler, but at the same time it does mean that it wasn't as emotionally gripping as if you were to read it. Let me know what your thoughts are on that scene, particularly if you've read the books as well. I'd be interested to know your opinion. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see if they keep it very true to the books or if they switch it up a bit and maybe go down a different route. Either way, both sides now want vengeance for the losses of their sons. The episode was titled A Son for a Son. Now they both want vengeance. Things are about to go down. I also loved that in the whole episode, Rhaenyra had one line and it was very, very powerful. My only gripe with this TV show, and this is exactly the same with the A Song of Ice and Fire books, is that I just struggle remembering everybody's names, and especially with the Targaryen line because they are all so similar. Rhaenyra, Rhaenyra, Rhaegar, Aegon, Aemond, they're just all so similar. And so when Rhaenyra spoke her very powerful line, I think it was I want Aemond or bring me Aemond, something like that, I had the assumption in my head as to which of the characters she was going on about and referring to, but I did just have to double check and Google just to make sure that I'd got the name right. But you will not have that problem if you are more intelligent than me, which to be honest is the majority of the population. Overall, I thought it was a great episode. I feel like there's a lot of tension building up. It's going to be a very powerful watch and I'm really excited to see where it goes. So that is my review of the first episode of season 2 of House of the Dragon. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments below if you've watched it. I've also done a review on the A Song of Ice and Fire book series, so if you want to watch that next, then I will leave that in the description box and somewhere on the screen for you to click as well to watch it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up to let me know that you did. And if you like my content and you want to see more from me, please subscribe because it lets you know every time I upload a video. I will see you next time, or rather you'll see me, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.